your attention. My brother, I've been stressed throughout last year, 2024, and I've not had any leave or any time to rest. And I called somebody today, say, Baba, I'm trying to look for a place where I could just have some maybe 2 days rest and then refresh myself so that for this year, because this year I'm research year. And I called the guy, a guy I know very much. I have to clean the name of the facility for privacy sake. Uncle Felix, look at the rate they are charging, the currency. $200 for 1 bedroom, $300 you want a beach view at the ground floor, all up to $400. Again, and maybe I say, okay, now it's not NDC government that has told us that they have succeeded in getting everybody to code their figures in cities. So why are people still charging in dollars? Number one. Now the striking aspect, he told me, say, if I want to pay in cedis, let's listen carefully. Or see, if I want to pay in cedis, their exchange rate is 12 Ghana cedis. And the hotels now, Ghana, they are even them are not going by a Bank of Ghana for a exchange rate. Just say if one hotel decides to go by $12, 12 cedis, another one can go by 13 cedis. It shows the whole exchange rates Ato Forson, Johnson Esiama are using. Even as a sector like the hotel industry, hospitality industry, they do not believe in that exchange rate. At your kase aban be a 419 aban. And what you have been telling Ghanaians, and you say MPP for got na baby na propaganda until these are real facts on the ground that we are talking about. This nation, it will be like this until 2028. Nothing is going to change. It can only get worse from here. That is the truth. It can only get worse. If it can only get worse, look, in 2016, if Akufo-Addo was not voted to become president of this country, Ghana maybe would have sold the country. Because where we were, it was very, 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 very nasty. Even NDC themselves, not John Mahama, Okoka said they have chewed the meat down to the bone. There was no hope in sight for them. They themselves were praying for MPP to win. And that is the same thing going to happen in 2028. If Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia does not become president, their hope is lost. Some of us might have to just run to Togo. It will be better. So I'm begging you, delegates, in as much as I'm begging you, I want to also let you know, say, you too, Usu, you have something at stake here. And if you go and take 500 cities, 1,000 cities, 2,000 cities, 10,000 cities, and you are going to vote for who does not deserve to be flag bearer of MPP, 10,000 will be due. But after that, and we will beg you, but we will also tell you that you also have something to lose if you go and vote the wrong way. Thank you so much for the privilege. But delegates, remember once again, I've told you, say, somebody who has a mental condition, who has refused to admit it in the first place, that person cannot have any progression towards healing. And he cannot also control it because a dream has him. And to go voting mana, malafo can nothing you would say would ever make sense to him because medically, he cannot phantom it out. So please, let's vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia 31st, and then we'll think about what to do with our senior father, Honorable Kerejapo. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, my brother from the voter.
So you see, means that monies have not been allocated. The monies that were allocated on paper have not really been sent over there. But you have it on paper that so and so amount of money has been released for NADMO operations. But the money truly have not been given to NADMO for those said operations. But the new government comes in, looks at the papers and realizes that, 100 million Ghana cedis was released for NADMO for so and so project. But in reality, it was not released. So we told them that they should lower their expectations, because when you are in your position and you look at the huge sum of money that are being quoted on radio and TV, you may assume that something serious is going on. But in reality, nothing may be going on. I'm not trying to hold any brief for anybody that has been touted for corruption. But what I'm trying to say is that sometimes the reality might be different from the assumptions.
And
So,
clearly, it was clearly expressed by the Deputy Attorney General on TV3 today. And in fact, the example he gave was that sometimes a contract may have been signed to build a school block, and maybe the contract is like 10 million. All right. So on paper, the one who reported to Aura will say that, okay, I'm well aware that a contract of 10 million was signed to build a school in, let's say, in Bauleshi. But I went to Bauleshi and the building is not there. Or in some of the cases, maybe not all the amount was released to the contractor. So clearly, maybe the money was 10 million and maybe just 1 million was disbursed to the contractor. So sometimes the allegation will be like will be overly exaggerated, but in reality, the person may or may not have received the money in full to complete the said project. Yet, when people hear some of these allegations, they run with it. And before the individual will get an opportunity to clear his name, the damage has already been done. And that was what the Deputy Attorney General was saying. So he was trying to justify that they may not be able to get us the $21 billion as it was estimated by Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa.
fact, it would be a miracle to even get us $1 billion. The 21 is so far, it is too far-fetched. To even get us $1 billion, fact,
Right.
it would be a miracle. You see, we should not forget that Akufo-Addo's administration, getting to the end of it, we couldn't even borrow from the Eurobond. You understand? But we had a lot of contracts going on. We had a lot of contracts being awarded. But when you go to the grounds and the work is not being done, or you go to the grounds and the work is partially done, but on paper, you will see it is written 800 million Ghana cedis, $800 million, one point something billion dollars has been allocated for this project. And that is how it is done. It is first written on paper before action actually takes place. And the politicians know this. They know this. In fact, they came to tell us that a particular road project was given to Wontumi, and that Wontumi took the money and did not do the project. Wontumi says that, no, he was supposed to use his money to start the project. Then government will later come in to pay. So he began the project, but government did not release the money. That is why the project was not completed. And they were very loud about it. And they took him to court. As we speak today, over almost a year down the line, we are yet to see the half of Wontumi. We are yet to see the half of Dubois. In fact, with Wontumi, they even have to find a way to persuade the general manager to their side to be a key witness for them. Which means that in reality, they did not even have substantive evidence against Wontumi, if not to bring his general manager to their side, persuade him that if you come to our side and testify against Wontumi, we will spare you. Because if they had enough evidence, they wouldn't need the general manager to come to their side. They would have had enough evidence to prosecute him.
Right.
So, in fact, you see, for me, I am a Ghanaian. And if anybody has eaten Ghana money, that person should be brought to books. That money should actually be taken back to the coffers of the nation. Because a single individual cannot loot the country in this manner. Howbeit, you can't, prosecute people, one, on social media. You can't prosecute people on assumptions. In 2008, before the elections, we saw the NDC, the chairman today, the secretary today, going around the nation, telling Ghanaians certain accounts, showing them accounts, bank accounts, supposed a bank account of the NPP ministers' appointees and how much was inside. And they were quoting the amount of old currency or
Really?
Oh, yes.
I
That
see.
if they come, they are going to prosecute them, they will arrest them, they will jail them, they will take these monies from Ghana for Ghanaians. When
You
Atalo's
see,
scheme,
on this $21 billion, when it was estimated by Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, and you were saying that confidently, that we'll be able to get 21 billion. And he likened that to the amounts we always go and beg the World Bank and IMF. And that if we are able to get this money, we'll certainly not go back to IMF or the World Bank for any money.
oh yes,
And like, this keeps me wondering, like, why are politicians always doing this to themselves? Knowing very well that this may be very difficult to prove, why do you put your reputation on the line? Yet you always tout yourself as a man of principle. If this does not happen, I will resign. But when it happens, you always come back and then you start changing the whole conversation. You
you
know,
see, you see. So no, the 21 billion, the corruption allegations were over 2,000, and he was saying that about 200 and something of the corruption allegations alone could bring to the coffers of the nation $21 billion. Citing the case of the National Cathedral, the Ato Forson and co. Now today, National Cathedral has been cleared. No money eaten, no corruption done. Cecilia Dapa has been cleared that she is not corrupt. She has not stolen any money. So the very engine of the allegation is already falling. That is why they want to find a scapegoat in Wontumi, trying to do everything possible to find a way to prosecute Wontumi, at least to please their foot soldiers. But Wontumi is also not a small meat that you can just chop anyhow. He will fight back. And already it's looking as if it may be difficult for the Attorney General and his prosecution team to make it possible happen anytime soon.
so
We may.
let's try and then deal with the National Cathedral conversation. So when the NDC came into office, they contacted a private firm, which is Deloitte,
Deloitte.
deal with the issue and investigated to find out if there are anything wrong with the books of the National Cathedral. And Deloitte clearly reported back to the government that they do not find anything wrong with the books. So certainly no corruption took place. In fact, all the monies that were paid were just for the work that was done. In fact, they have everything intact. Now, this
Yeah.
whole conversation blew up the whole blew up the report, and people were like, then why did you deceive us by saying that there was some corruption in the National Cathedral project and all of that? Now, the NDC government came back and said they are not convinced. In fact, they will want, they will like to request for a forensic audit of the account or the books of the National Cathedral, because some Momo monies were received as well, And currently, we've not received the reports. But the government, 1 year down the line, is now silent on it. So maybe in the coming days we'll have some information about it, and maybe the Office of the Attorney General or the forensic team will be taking their time to review whatever document it is. But for now, on the National Cathedral, maybe I'll be hopeful because they said this is a forensic audit. So let's give them that grace. But I'm more worried about the fact that the AG is saying that it's not every allegation reported by oral that will end up in court. And I'm like, is the Attorney General and the NDC coming now to apologize to these individuals they malign or like destroy their reputation through this whole narrative of they have stolen from the state? Because if some of the cases will not go to court, then you should clearly tell us what are the cases, like which individuals are involved. So in 2 minutes, just comment on this so that we can bring another
It's in
person in.
fact, I remember the issue of the Momo monies they said was collected by the National Cathedral Board. They came with explanation that those monies were supposed to be collected by ADB. ADB was the one tasked to collect those monies, and it did
Right.
not actually end with the board. So if they really want any information, they should contact ADB. Now, Deloitte made us understand that me personally, I subscribe to the Momo something that I'll be paying hundreds this every month to support the cathedral project. You know what happens? I was supposed to get a prompt every month where I would just key in my my password and the 100 will be deducted. Now, in the first month, it came, but after I key in my password, the deduction took place. Within the same week, a refund was made, so it wasn't successful. Me personally, I subscribe to the cathedral that every month I'll pay 100 Ghana cedis for personal reasons. It wasn't successful. Now, are they saying that Deloitte and Touche were not credible enough to do forensic audit? Are they saying that the audit they did was not forensic enough? I mean, Deloitte and Touche was credible in the first place for them to be able to contact them, a private firm, to actually audit it. It was out of shame that they came back to tell Ghanaians that they, the NDC, would now want to conduct their own audit. Now, 1 year down the line, how far? Haven't you realized how silent they have been on it? Now, it even came out that the reason why after the hole was dug, they couldn't go back to it again was that the same NDC people took the cathedral project to court. And because the case was in court, that is why the project was halted. Not because
All right.
they didn't
Kindly
want to
hold
work.
on that, and I'll come back to you, Anonymous. Thank you so much for your listening. All right, guys, if you just joined the conversation, this is Fast on Fast, and here with